Back in September, my original Megacity playlist, Sleepy Hollow was my first town that we created back then. It is fallen to Miss Hunt's aggressive behavior and was one of my major islands we lost in the early stages of the Grand Wars that followed this event. Now, after all this time, it's time to rebuild Sleepy Hollow and bring it back to its former glory. And we're doing this in this video. Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Anno 1800. How very good of you to join and stick around to this beautiful game. And we are, well, we're in the old world. We're in endgame mode. Not really, not for the great city of Sleepy Hollow that doesn't exist anymore, right? This is the city that we lost in the Megacity playthrough to Miss Hunt, and Miss Hunt has been destroyed since then. Our glorious capital of Crown Falls is lurking over here in all its extended glory, and in this video, I don't want to focus though on Crown Falls, right? We want to rebuild Sleepy Hollow because we need it as a prerequisite for a lot of other mods that I want to show you and that the great community of Anno 1800 has prepared over the years. So since we're still waiting a bit for Anno Pax Romana, yeah, let's use this moment to enjoy beautiful community content that has been provided ever since the release of Anno. And we're starting with Sleepy Hollow here. By upgrading our trading post here to a large trading post right away, and with that we can unlock more building materials. So the primary source of income for Sleepy Hollow is going to be Crown Falls, right, where that it delivers it, and we're going to explore a whole bunch of new buildings with Sleepy Hollow as well that you've never seen before. And also just on time, my airship is coming in with even more juicy materials. Also, Sleepy Hollow is going to be protected by a major fleet just outside of its haven. And yeah, since I don't want to lose that city again, gotta be careful. And you can't be careful enough because we got major opponents right next to us. That is a Bente Jorgensen, completely fully developed and also ready for action. And also, of course, Hugo Mercia over here with his major city that he's got, and probably the biggest dockland I've ever seen in this game. Now with all of this, let's not be idle and let's continue with the construction of a Sleepy Hollow. We're going to explore a couple of new buildings, as I said, so I'm going to go with a bit of a different road layout than I did with Crown Falls, of course, and we're going to add a bunch of these main roads then around the city. Even more ships are coming in, delivering resources we are going to need. After laying out the foundation, it's important that we start with our basic buildings again, the marketplace and the pub. The pub is going to play a major role soon, but we're going to explore this later. And yeah, with that, let's go ahead and also build us our first houses, so the Sleepy Hollow has its first inhabitants.
You reached a new milestone.
About time we gave them hell.
As the town is growing, we're going to need a few trade routes. And for this, we're going to create a whole new category of a group, and that is going to be the Sleepy Hollow trade route group that I want to have. And it has a direct connection between Sleepy Hollow and Crown Falls, of course. And this one here, for example, is delivering now resources constantly for building materials, for example. And on top of that, weapons. And Nihilus, our Sapphire class airship, is going to do the job. Another trade route is going Sleepy Hollow to the other megacity we have, Manola, delivering all the resources from over there, including coffee, rum, and bombins. You may ask why bombins? Well, we're going to see this a bit later. A few things will have to come from Sleepy Hollow, because I can't provide for everything. One of them is fish. At this point, I continue with the other side of Sleepy Hollow. It's already time to start upgrading, and we're going ahead, and we're pushing the first people to workers.
A new milestone.
Upgrading the roads should be one of our highest priorities. The same thing can be said for a school.
Is under attack.
A smaller stone church from medieval times is helping fulfill the need for praying. And the Ground Fire Brigade Institute is helping with the fires. And once again, we are upgrading all the roads in Sleepy Hollow. A few more trade routes are required at this point, and that is that we have a constant stream of high quality products coming in. This will be stuff like schnapps, workcloth, sausage, soap, bread and beer for the lower populations. Sewing machines, fur coats, glasses, bicycles, canned food and champagne for the higher populations. With all of this, we can definitely afford another city expansion to the north. And also a massive expansion in the center. And just as another day is coming to an end, we can already go ahead and upgrade the first bunch of workers
You reached
to happy
a new
artisans.
milestone.
As always, timber is my limiting factor right now. And as more and more artisans move into Sleepy Hollow, we will also now need to make room for a university.
How about a
And with education secured, more and more people join Sleepy Hollow. And since the great people of Sleepy Hollow are satisfied, we can already upgrade the first ones to engineers.
You reached a new milestone.
Finally, Sleepy Hollow is capital again, after such a long time. And with those people, we can finally also afford another expansion of our city districts.
The people celebrate your leadership.
Walking through the town already shows an impressive progress that we've made so far. Also our big airships. Impressive as always. On its way back to Crown Falls, delivering resources.
We're at war.
And the new penny farthings are also now on the streets. Since for the construction of a new town we need thousands of tons of timber and bricks and steel, I've also expanded now my timber industry, even though of course we're already transporting hundreds of tons per cycle from Crown Falls over. One advantage Sleepy Hollow has is its oil fields in the hinterlands. This one here we can use, and of course it's not without any positive advantages building a city on such a big island. Providing oil is really important and can also help out Crown Falls in the long term. Let's go ahead and build us an oil exploitation area here. So that's the oil refineries that I want to have again. Let's just check it out. Holy cow, we can have all of them in one. Probably like this. Let's just check it out. Nah, unfortunately that's not possible. We're going to leave this single oil field up there empty right now. That should also be fine. To an oil harbor right over there. The question will remain, do we need to protect this oil harbor? We'll just see. And with that, the oil production on Sleepy Hollow has started. And the first trains are on the tracks. Yeah, those people always want something new, so we once again need to make room in a central location of Sleepy Hollow to provide us a variety theater. Meanwhile, in Crown Falls, we need to continue building more and more cargo ships, as we need more trade routes going to Sleepy Hollow. With that, we have now a respectable 14 ships delivering Sleepy Hollow with resources.
This is
Another massive push brings more engineers. And another city district expansion brings in more farmers. More and more timber needs to be delivered.
Cargo stations.
At this point, 2 mighty airships transport resources to speed up the process. And more piers offer more room for airships and ships at the same time. The difficulty in further expansion is the terrain of Sleepy Hollow. It's a bit tricky finding the right routes, as the cliffs are blocking quite a bit. But, like this area here, this could be a nice, small, natural park. Finally, with more timber, over 1,000 tons, we can continue with the upgrades, provide a second school, and more workers.
I love the fire service. They help me a lot.
Even that is not enough, as we do need more space the more ships come in. And because we need more space, Sleepy Hollow deserves a proper harbor area, and we have that found in here with lots of additional storage that we need. Ornaments from the Docklands DLC, smaller ships waiting everywhere, and of course 4 additional platforms for ships to transport resources back and forth. Now it's going to be important how we get all the oil to our first electrical power plant, and we're going to extend this train network that we already have all the way here along the main road. The northern main road, we will have to move a few buildings around, even though they're not really providing full efficiency anymore anyway. And here we're going to enter then Sleepy Hollow main road and continue all the way down here to our first power plant. And with that, electricity is now flowing, just in time for my engineers to also take it. Now, every harbor needs a proper entrance, and that's exactly what we have with our beautiful statue here, and we're going to add it also right over here somewhere, so that everybody from afar can see the rise of Sleepy Hollow from the ashes. And as more timber comes in, we can also continue with the upgrades, especially here in the town center. It's also high time that we add a bunch of more service buildings like the bank, and this is not finally yet. I will still need to find a proper solution, a proper location for this. However, we need to build it because my engineers demand already a bank on, there we have it now with happiness and income. Also a second variety theater on this part of Sleepy Hollow, so we got our little variety theater over here. So having another one just, let's just check it out, probably somewhere here. So let's get rid of these workers there and just copy us over that variety theater. There you go, basically dropping my unhappiness to -9 only for the engineers and even 0 for the artisans now. Now it's gonna be important that this part of Sleepy Hollow also gets its electricity, since the power plant we have right now only goes to this area. So the next one needs to be a bit more in the center. And for this, well, we can get rid of this school here, since engineers don't want any schools, nor any pubs, nor any marketplaces. The districts for that are over here though. So this is the marketplace and the pub. There is a marketplace and a pub. So this is providing everything here for those farmers. And with that, we have a bit of beautiful juicy space right here that we can use to optimize our flow. And this is the road that we're going to use on that. So we are once again making a cut all the way to the center, and we should be really fast about this, because right now we're cutting those two districts apart from each other, and this is pretty bad, especially for my service buildings. Let's get the tracks down all the way in here, so we might make a few ornaments around that, and then in here we can just go ahead, get me my power plant. I'm trying to make this a bit space efficient, because honestly we will need to have something else in here. something undefined at this point. So let's just go ahead and have us our power plant here connected. And with that, we do have now this whole area all the way to these guys here covered with electricity. Perfect. In this case, we can move that jolly good fella all the way down, and look at the space that we have all of a sudden here in the middle of all of that. Perfect. This road is also finished. We are not going with any protection this time around for those poor souls. The only thing I can do here is adding some trees
A fire broke out.
around this area so that it looks a bit more green. I continue with more upgrades right over here. And also up here on that hill, where you can just see them very prominently, so these should be good buildings. And once again, we're still limited by timber. Also, I really don't like the standard vanilla skin, so we're going to switch all of this here. Perhaps that's a bit too dark. This is a bit better, at least the roof is a bit brighter. And this is the nightlife skin on these guys here. So Sleepy Hollow looks like it's quite the jolly good place, with theaters, casinos and bars everywhere. And after all the upgrades we provided, finally we can upgrade the engineers to investors, at least the first row of houses here. Okay, next up we have even more upgrades here in the town center. There's also once again a school, a pub and a marketplace that we need to take care of. But first, let's go ahead and upgrade as many of them as possible. There you go. And let's also get rid of this central area now. And yeah, there we have a nice plaza, you might call it, or whatever it is that we can use here. Next on the line.
Spare a thought for us?
No, I don't want to have any defectors.
We'd never turn on ours.
It's really just that up to this point we are starving with timber whenever something happens, so whenever a bigger upgrade comes along. Now, having such a big oil refinery in Sleepy Hollow and only 2 power plants that we're probably ever going to need means that Sleepy Hollow can actually give something back to Crown Falls after all this time of just taking, and that is giving. And Crown Falls always needs a bit of oil, so we're going to create a trade route that goes in the other direction now. It's an oil trade route, and this one goes from Sleepy Hollow then all the way to glorious Crown Falls to provide, well, oil basically. And we do have 1 oil tanker available, Dion 3 for this. Get it started. In the meantime, more timber means more upgrades, especially up here on this higher plateau.
Your ship has returned from its voyage. Your ship has returned from its voyage.
And as always, I would like to have a very smooth transition between the inner center buildings and the outer center buildings, because I think this just looks more natural. The same goes for the other side. Lucky us. Farmer houses don't cost that much when you upgrade them. These guys here, they need a bit of better marketplace access. So what we can do here right now is just having 1 for the moment until we have a better access. There's more timber coming in now. Another 600 tons of it. All of that we need. And at the same time, let's also check out what my engineer still might need. That's a bit more coffee. So once again, we are getting a bit close to the limit of what my trade routes can do. That's this one here. And what I can see though is coffee's full at all times, right? Oh, what's going on here? Some strange reasons it was deactivated. Okay, so a bit finicky, no idea why, but it should be coming in now again. And there's also the first coffee already close by. Also, these guys here. I just love mass upgrading buildings. And what's missing over here? Probably a school. Yep, there you go. So we can also provide another school for this upper area just for now, until we are past the workers.
An explosion in one of your factories.
Very good. Now we have artisans all around the inner city.
Fire broke out.
And also more investors in the center. It's at this point that we probably should also provide proper member clubs. So we can have one over here, for example, and one then here in this center. Or I'm just going to remodel a bit of here.
Buildings abandoned.
This should add more happiness again, as this was already quite low now. And for the other side, we should do the same thing. The member club has a huge range, but it also has its limits. And yeah, exploring all those beautiful modded buildings is the main goal of this episode. So let's have our beautiful botanical hall right here in the center with its own special entrance at the front of it. Together with some ornaments, of course.
Your people are starting to get sick.
Another one that I like a lot is the votive church. So this is a church that we find in Vienna, and one of the modders replicated it so that we can use it for glorious Sleepy Hollow. It's getting its own entrance right here at the end of the main road, coming right from the main trade post. You can see this from afar already. And with it, we're also reaching a new level of attractiveness for Sleepy Hollow. And just look how it absolutely stuns me in the first person view when you're going up here on the hill towards that church. Fantastic. Another great modded building is the city hall that we can have somewhere over here. So this is kind of like the mayor's house for Sleepy Hollow, with its own entrance, of course, again here, but we're going to make it a bit stretched, and probably also on the other side. What I love to accompany this one here, also by the way, head manager we are, is
Bonus.
the Queen's Clock Tower. I think it's just perfect right here on this edge. To also add this new skyline as well to the center of it, where everybody can see the time of the day. As always, we continue upgrading all the roads. I'm going to continue now, moving once again my building, so that is the marketplace that we no longer need here. And we can now open up this area. We have, of course, still our mayor's house, or town hall. So this has 4 slots here, so I'm going with another 4 tiles before I have a normal road again. So this is kind of like symmetrical. I would also like to start decorating the roads here, just like this one, with some proper enclosed greeneries, as that fits the most, I think. And what would be a big city without department stores and shopping centers?
While my mind feeds on ideas, these shelves...
A proper urban hospital should also be part of the city. We're going to have this right over here. It has its own entrance. And do we still need that marketplace? No, we don't. We can actually get rid of that. And with that, have a proper looking bank right here now. So far, a content population. Not everything we did was wrong after all. Of course, Sleepy Hollow has a rich history, so what we also need here is a proper castle. Once again, a modded building And it's just fantastic. And this, of course, here just needs to be up here on the cliffs. With that, we also reach another level of attractiveness. As you can now see this castle from afar at the very end of town. So this main road here basically continues all the way to that castle. Something else that we can start now is a bus system, as a Sleepy Hollow definitely needs public transportation. So we're starting over here and just move throughout the town so that we have one giant bus system at the most important locations. And what would be any great city with cafes and restaurants? Also hotels, of course, especially in the inner city. I think I'm going to move this one like so. Just fits better to the structure. And as the sun is going down, I think we have brought back Sleepy Hollow from the dead to a thriving metropolis with beautiful skyline, a bustling harbor area, tourists that roam the streets, that visit our grand or monuments and churches. And with that, I can finally rest in peace again. I hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned.